When you think of Christmas, so much of it is focused on eating and drinking. And in this video, I'm going to share 12 eats and drinks that are available all year round that as a family when I was growing up, we wouldn't touch except for at Christmas. I've raided my memory bank to come up with a sprinkling of things that would be in our house. If you can think of some others, please comment down below and let's build a list of things to get or avoid this year. 1. Let's hit the drink first. Let's be honest, back in the day, I only ever saw Cherry B, Baby Sham and Snowball drinks during the Christmas week. My granny would have a Cherry B or a glass of sherry to get into the spirit. They called Baby Sham the happiest drink in the world. It wasn't as champagne as we were led to believe. It was pretty much pear juice and a fizzy soda water. It's kind of like a cider, but not. It's slightly alcoholic, but I'm not sure if you drank a lorry load you'd get drunk. As a kid, I was allowed a Snowball, Advocaat and lemonade. Mum would mix it for me and pop a cherry on the top, put a straw in it, and I'd be as happy as Larry. Mums used to drink it too. I could have added mulled wine, but we didn't used to have it, so I didn't. That was a bit too cosmopolitan for the likes of us. 2. Dates. Mum used to buy them every year and they'd still be lurking in the living room on New Year's Eve. I'm not sure why she bought them, because none of us liked them, especially when there were tins of sweets within arm's reach. Funny enough, I like them now, but we still only buy them at Christmas. Number 3, nuts. We always had nuts. My favourite thing about them was the nutcracker. We had one of those ratcheted ones and I'd put a walnut in it, ratchet it up and watch the nut explode across the living room. And what made it so good for me was that sometime later, someone would step on a bit of walnut shell that hadn't been picked up and I'd laugh out loud as whoever it was hopped around the room cursing. Funnily enough, I never really ate any of them though. And on the odd occasion we've bought nuts at Christmas since I've grown up, I've not really partaken of them either. 4. Orange and lemon slices. I always ate these. They didn't taste anything like oranges or lemons, but they did at least taste sweet, and that's all that mattered to me. Number 5. After 8 mints, the height of sophistication. Mum and Dad wouldn't let me open them until after 8. You were supposed to take the little bites as you ate your way through one. Me? I'd grab 4 or 5 at a time, tip them out of their little wrappers, pick them up and shovel them into my mouth. Dad would look over and say, "Take it steady, you'll be sick." I never was though. 6. Matchmakers. Whatever is the point of these? Eat them one at a time and it's like eating a chocolate covered mint tasting twig. No, what you have to do is pick up all of them in one section and go for it. We're halfway through, and if you're enjoying this little blast from the past, feel free to hit that like button. As you can tell, I've put a lot of thought into this. Moving on. 7. Pickled onions. I do like a pickled onion. I did as a kid, but it didn't matter whether there was one person in the house or 10. They'd never ever get finished. And you'd open a cupboard halfway through the summer, and there would be the jar with one lonely pickled onion left in a gallon of vinegar. It's as though no one had the heart to throw it away or eat it. 8. Cheese footballs. These were just awful. They tasted like a football and certainly not one made out of cheese. A complete waste of time. To this day, I don't ever remember seeing anyone eating more than one. And yet year after year, they'd be there alongside Twiglets and Cheeselets. I think my mum thought it was the law that you had to buy all 3. 9. Turkish Delight. The rest of the year, we'd go and buy that lovely Turkish Delight wrapped in purple foil and covered in chocolate. But when it came to Christmas, it was always this other stuff in a box. Not a bit of chocolate to be seen, and covered in some kind of powder. What was that all about? It seemed as though only adults liked it. Me and my little sister certainly didn't. 10. The toffee selection. It came in slabs and you needed a little hammer to break it into bite-sized chunks. but it was so worth it. You'd bite into a broken off piece and it would take like 10 minutes to devour it. I loved it. But for the rest of the year I had to make do with normal toffee, which didn't taste as nice and wasn't so much fun. 11. A cheese board. My dad loved the cheese board. He'd sit there with a big grin on his face as he slowly worked his way through the lot of it. I think it was his favourite thing over Christmas, to be fair. We'd only ever see cheddar in the fridge for the rest of the year, but come Christmas, we'd have all these other types. Over the years, I've discovered that, like my dad, I too like a variety of cheeses. And yet, we don't tend to buy anything other than cheddar for the rest of the year either. 12. A tin of shortcake biscuits. Now, I'm not quite sure about why they're so popular at Christmas. I don't recall my mum buying shortcake any other time of the year. We generally have a digestive or a custard cream. Do you know why shortcake biscuits are so popular this time of year? If you do, let me know, will you? And that's it. I can't wait for the Christmas shop. That's your lot for this video, but if you want to click up there, I'll chat about some hobbies you might fancy taking up in the new year.